Hi guys! Finally, after a 2 week hiatus, we're
Yep.
back. Welcome back to another episode of Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show. Kev was poorly, and then as he was feeling better, and we arranged to do a podcast, I got tonsillitis. So it's been a
Right.
difficult few weeks, hasn't it, for both of us?
You're
So
right, Pat. Yeah.
yeah,
It's been one of those weeks, I think, isn't it? It's just been one of
yeah,
them weeks
yeah,
where
yeah,
we've gotten ill and the world's gone mad again. We
yeah,
feel
yeah.
it's been one of them weeks.
It really has. Like, there's been so much that I mean, now there's going to be things that I really wanted to talk about that that both of us wanted to talk about that we're obviously not going to be able to just have time to, because we've got
Yeah.
you have 2 weeks off in this business, and you just left behind completely. There's just
Stuff just leaves you behind, doesn't it? When you get like that.
yeah.
Just
I think if it's all right with you, Kev, I think I would like to start with the draft, because for me, at the minute, it's the biggest thing that I do want to talk about. Now, obviously, when this is going out, Raw will have been aired, and obviously, I know you've seen it, but we're recording
Yep.
it, Tuesday morning, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so haven't seen Raw. My original feelings, which was the first thing that I said to you after I watched SmackDown. I've not seen Raw yet, so I'm just basing my opinion on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I am really frustrated, disappointed, angry, and confused by the way that WWE have handled this draft, because I think there's certain people that when they talk, you have to listen. And after AEW's last pay-per-view, Eric Bischoff said, I know Vince McMahon really well, and Vince McMahon thrives and is at his best when he's under pressure. Like when WCW and ECW put him under pressure, that was when he did his best work. He said, and now Vince McMahon will be listening after that pay-per-view, and I can't wait. Everyone buckle in for the ride. This is going to be an exciting ride. And I think everyone felt that now Vince will go, okay, we have got competition, and we now do have to, even though the ratings are up and the viewers are up, and we're still beating AEW in viewership and ratings.
Yeah.
We're not naive, we're not stupid. We know that the hardcore wrestling fans are enjoying the AEW product and the wrestling value more than what they're enjoying WWE at the minute. We need to change.
Yeah.
So I think everybody, all me and you spoke about for what, the last month, can't wait for the draft, because this is a chance to hit that reset button. It's a chance to, and then obviously a couple of weeks ago, rumors broke that NXT was involved, and then a few days later, WWE announced that NXT would be involved in the draft, and you're like, this is brilliant. You're going to have completely different brands. Raw and SmackDown are going to look completely different. New rivalries, new storylines. This is a great opportunity to hit that reset button and really start putting together some great matches and some brilliant storylines, and get WWE back firing again and get everyone excited again. And you could just feel it on SmackDown. You're watching the draft and you're watching Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and you can feel it. It was like WWE couldn't give a toss. It was like they did not care. It was like, you're on SmackDown, you're on Raw, you're there, you there. Who gives a fuck? I'm not bothered. It felt to me like it was completely irrelevant. It felt like they were just going, you know what? Just for shits and gigs, let's mix it up a bit. You're over there. Who cares? Come on. It just felt like there was no planning involved. There was no thought. It felt like they weren't excited. It felt like WWE weren't excited. It felt like the superstars weren't excited. There was nothing that felt to me like a draft. It just didn't feel like a draft. Now, my question to you is, and honestly, I'm not bothered. You can tell me.
Yeah.
Is Raw very much the same feel?
Slightly, yeah. I was expecting more from it. Let's put it that way. And a lot of the drafts were, well, you could tell that they were happening anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of what happened on Friday, and we know that they like sticking couples together. You sort of knew what was coming. You knew who was going to be drafted to Raw or SmackDown because their other half already had on the night before on the SmackDown. So a lot of it was like, well, we knew that was going to happen. oh yeah, well we knew that was going to happen. It was a lot like that, and they didn't really call up a lot of people from NXT that I thought they would have done either as well. Like there was like two people that I just thought one I thought was already on WWE on a Raw or SmackDown, but they called it a call up, and another one was just a bit like, oh okay, and then it was like, well, what about everybody else?
Well, I've seen that Xia Li's on SmackDown.
Yeah, and so he's well, you know, do you want me to tell you?
I'm who?
Ridge Holland.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on SmackDown.
Right, okay. So is it just Ridge Holland, or is it Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne?
Nope, just Ridge Holland. And
they had something going there with Ridge and Dunne.
Austin Theory was the other guy.
Yeah, on Raw, yeah.
And they said that was a call-up, but I didn't think... I thought he was already on Raw or SmackDown.
He was. See, this is the thing. I've seen this on Twitter, but they did announce Austin Theory. That was on SmackDown. They announced that Theory was going to be on Raw.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
So Theory, like, he was originally on Raw. He got called up for about a month, and then they stuck him back down to NXT, and they stuck him with Johnny Gargano, and then obviously now they've kind of brought him up again. Based off the ones I've seen, Ridge Holland again. It's very similar to the Xia Li. Probably could have done with staying on NXT for longer. I kind of feel like the ones that you go in, come on now, like Pete Dunne needs calling up. Yeah. You know,
LA Knight.
I know LA Knight's not been on NXT for long, but LA Knight is very different. The experience that man has. It isn't Austin Theory. It isn't a 20-year-old. You know.
Yeah.
But you look at LA Knight, Cameron Grimes.
Yeah. None of them.
Dunne, you know. Obviously, we don't know. We aren't to know for sure, but we don't know whether Gargano and Ciampa have said we want. You know, we don't want to be called up. I know Ciampa said I don't know about Gargano, but people like that, they're the ones that you're expecting. They've brought up the one like Austin Theory, very very young, not got that much experience. Xia Li, again, not really done an awful lot on NXT. And if you think about it, it was actually the when the woman with the hair in front of her face, it was when she got with her, took Xia and Boa under her wing. That it sounds, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that was the only thing that gave her any sort of interest. It was the only thing that made her interesting. I think. That's surprising.
I was more surprised because both of them are in like factions or tag teams.
Another one that SmackDown took, which again surprised me, Hit Row. They've only just been put together. They've been teasing the rivalry between Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma that we're all looking forward to, and now they've just pulled Hit Row up to SmackDown, and it's like, but again, they've only been together a couple of months, you know, and then. Obviously, Ridge Holland I like.
Is that none of it comes into play until the 22nd of October, not the Friday after Crown Jewel. Which I just thought, why not have it then? Why have it now? I don't understand that.
No, it doesn't make sense.
The one thing I'm more excited about actually is the King of the Ring and Queen Crown, which is what it's called. That starts on Friday and then continues on Monday. That's the thing I'm more excited about, not the draft. I think the draft felt weak because they then turned around and went, "Oh, but none of it sort of comes into effect until the 22nd of October." So it's like 3 weeks where it doesn't come into any sort of anything.
It just doesn't make sense.
And Hit Row, you've got the North American champion in that. So I don't see them bringing that up with them. So you know for a fact that they're going to drop that title to the next person that he has a match with.
Yeah, exactly. But all the names that we've all mentioned, and then obviously the last one, it being Ridge Holland.
Yeah,
I love Holland, and look, the trajectory he was on, and then he blew out his knee, and then he's come back, and you know he's come back with that excitement and interest. And then they stuck him with Pete Dunne, and you could really see that they were working as a heel team. And then they've just, again, why they've brought up the ones that haven't got experience and left the ones that have got experience on NXT. But here's the catch: they've named it NXT 2.0, and they've said we're focusing more on the young talent. Well, you've left Gargano there, you've left Ciampa there, you've left Dunne there, you've left LA Knight there. So everyone that's Samoa Joe, all the ones that are older with a lot of experience, you've left in NXT, the brands that you're focusing on the young ones, and you've brought up the young ones to Raw and SmackDown. What are you doing? Like, honestly, mate, they couldn't tell the fucking heads from their ass. They have not got a clue what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, you kind of look at it like we're going back to like AEW, and what I don't understand was last week we had Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega in like the opening match of AEW. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Excellent match.
Yeah, great match.
Yeah. Right, and then you also had CM Punk on that night and some other great matches.
Yeah.
And it didn't do very well in the ratings, and it's like. And Raw, the previous Raw, which was poor, really.
Yeah.
It in the ratings and the demo, and I was like, well, what the hell's going on here? Why are more people now watching Raw over AEW, which had Daniel Bryan, Kenny Omega first match, and CM Punk on it? I just, like you were saying as well. It's the same thing with NXT. It's like the best out of them all. Yet no one was watching it. It's like, why? I don't know why it's all like this.
No, I mean, the only show that the ratings and viewership make sense is SmackDown, because it is good.
Yeah.
It's a good show, and I think something that not a lot of people have really recognised, and I've not really seen anyone say it. Hats off to Roman Reigns, because he really has carried that entire brand for 18 months. He really, and the thing you've got to respect about him. Friday Night SmackDown, Madison Square Garden, wrestled. Monday Night Raw, wrestled. Friday Night SmackDown, wrestled. Yeah. Sunday pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, wrestled. Yeah. He doesn't stop. He then wasn't on Raw, wasn't on Raw because he's obviously on SmackDown. And then he had another match on SmackDown against a great match against Montez Ford. In the space of like 2 weeks, he'd had about 7 televised matches on different brands. Like, the guy's a workhorse. Like, he doesn't stop. And every match, he puts everything that he has into it. He really is, solidifying himself as the face of the company now. I don't think anyone can really argue with that, but he's putting the work in, I wasn't a fan when Brock Lesnar had the belt because he wasn't there a lot. And that's not Brock's fault. That's poor booking. That's poor on Bruce Pritchard. It's poor on Vince McMahon, Triple H, both McMahons. Apparently now Shane has left. I don't know if you've seen them rumours. Apparently Shane's left.
Yeah, I've heard some rumours. Shane has left. Nothing with the company.
But it's poor booking from them that you Brock Lesnar had that belt for like 18 months, and he was there. He might turn up once a month, and he would just stand there and jog on the spot while Paul Heyman talked for him, and then he'd bugger off. And then he might have one match every 2 months. It really was shocking, horrendous booking. You can't have, your champion. What is everyone else working for?
Yeah.
Whereas look at Roman Reigns. He's fighting anybody. Anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter. I think the next thing that I want to talk about, mate, because it's kind of been Marmite. It's got a lot of shit. And I know for a fact you really liked it. And I absolutely loved it. Is Roman Reigns versus the Demon King.
Yeah.
The ending of that match, it got so much shit. And I'm sat there going, what do you want? Like, what do you people want? Okay, you know, the top rope collapsing, taking out the demon is a bit like, you know, but it was the top rope collapsing, then a second spear. You know, the only way
people was great, especially when the heartbeat was going on, and he was sort of waking back up, and his music was going up.
It was amazing, you know, the doof doof and his body were jerking and beat to the heartbeat. I mean, Finn Balor's timing is, you know, people don't realize the genius that Finn Balor is. You know, he created the demon character. He came up with the design for the paint. He created his ring walk to the music. He times every step in his head to make sure that he's in the right position to do his thing. You know, everything is pristine, and he, you know, everything he did, he was in beat with the music. If they was taking the belt off Roman, that would have been. I mean, he actually got up onto the top rope in time to jump off on the beat change where he usually does that. Imagine if he'd have jumped off and hit the coup de grace in time with that beat and then pinned him. But everything, I mean, that, do you know what? Amazing from Roman, because the drop kick, I've seen it that many times now. Roman doesn't look back once. He stumbles back up to his feet, finishes a drop kick, and he jumps himself back straight into the middle of that table, and the table explodes. It was amazing from both of them, and
it proves that he's still main event material as well.
Yeah,
could be there.
The demon losing like that is the only bit that is the big talking point for me and you, is, and I am 50-50 on it. The only thing that I want to say is they could have come up with something better. So you have a bit of, when the top rope collapsed, you have something from above fall and pinning down, a bit of the structure. Do you know what I mean? They could have had, because there was a Hell in a Cell match on that pay-per-view. Yeah. So you could have just had a bit of the cell come down and fall on him. Obviously, make it made of rubber or something so it doesn't hurt him. But you have that fall on him, but it looked like a steel bar that pins him down, because that makes sense. That's the only way that you keep a demon down is, you know, you have a massive bit of metal that pins his shoulders to the mat for 3 seconds. They should have done something like that. Something that, okay, the top rope has collapsed, which just stopped him from hitting the coup de grace. Now we need something else that is capable of keeping a demon down for 3 seconds. But that's what you do. You have it keep him down for the 3 seconds, and then as Roman gets off him, Finn flicks the fucking metal bar off him. You know, there was
I think
better things they could have done.
They're playing a long game here, because I don't know if you've seen it, but there was a video floating around on Twitter. Someone videoed the rope being cut.
I've not seen it.
Oh, you've not seen it? Right, no. So someone in the crowd is videoing the match on their phone, and then they zoom, and then they see someone come out of the crowd and then like use garden shears to cut the rope. But the thing is, when you're looking at it, you can see a cameraman there, and the person's all in black, all in like a black hoodie and black leggings and that. You can clearly see it's a woman. And I said to my wife, I showed her it, and I said to my wife, wouldn't it be cool if that was Naomi and she's joining the bloodline?
Yeah.
She cut the rope as like a backup sort of thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's amazing.
And I thought, well, because the thing is as well, is that there was a camera guy right there as well when they did it. So I reckon that they could be playing that later on and say,
that'd be amazing. I mean, fingers crossed that happens. I think Naomi joining the bloodline would be fantastic. But I do want to say, though, just before we move on, I get that. I get the criticism. I just don't know where I stand on it. I am very 50-50. A lot of people are saying that it still makes Finn look strong. And a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't make him look strong because a top rope collapse and a spear has beat the demon. and I don't know where I am on it. I'm.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say,
they could have ended it better.
Yeah, they could have thought of something better.
Yeah.
But everything else, from the light turning red and the doof, doof, like everything from that was absolutely incredible. And I don't get why so many people didn't like it. I thought it was, you can't find me a wrestling fan who, and if you say no, I didn't fall for it, you're talking out your fucking ass. For a split second, you thought the Demon was winning that match.
Yeah.
For most a split second, when he climbed that up, you're thinking, oh, he's gonna fucking do it. Oh, he's gonna do it. Oh my god! Like, for a split second, everybody thought that the Demon was going to win that belt. That is fantastic booking. It is great writing. For all the criticism that WWE get, you've got to take your hat off and give them a round of applause, because that was absolutely genius. It was brilliant from a writing standpoint, from a storyline standpoint, and for the Demon and for Roman, it was great. And I just wish that they'd have done something falling on Finn after the rope collapse, something that is going to crush him down, something that's going to keep him down for 3 seconds. People are forgetting it's only 3 seconds. They could have had something pin him down for 3 seconds.
What they could have done is, once he fell off, is the Usos hold him down.
Yeah, because it's a no DQ anyway.
There was no DQ, so they could have held him down while Roman pinned him.
Yeah,
and that would have still counted. So
you could have had the ref leaning against the rope, and as the rope collapses, the ref goes out, and one of the Usos puts the ref outfit on and goes three fast pins. Yeah. There's loads of things that they could have done to make it better, and unfortunately, they didn't quite do it right. And what I'm a little bit like, it was such a great idea and everything was done so well. It's frustrating and disappointing that there is that bad taste in your mouth, because there was something better that they could have done. But I think what I disagree with is people saying Finn looks weak now. I don't think he looks weak at all, because I think it was a great match. I think the Demon coming back from the dead and the way that he stood up, after when the start of his music when the start and the music gets louder, he stood up on that again. Everything he did was in time with his music. It was amazing. It was for me, that's the best thing I've seen on WWE TV for years, because it was different. I think it was fantastic. But moving on, what's the next point that you wanna talk about? Because we have got 2 weeks worth of shit to catch up on.
I don't really know. There's a lot of happened. Like, go back into the draft, really, because one of the things I wanted to point out was, why did they put the New Day together and then just split them back up again?
I have no idea.
And it was like, oh yeah, you put Big E back with the New Day on Raw, and then just draft Woods and Kofi back to SmackDown and keep it. It's like, why put them together and then break them straight back up again? Didn't make any sense.
No, it does. I mean, another thing, I'm assuming, and you can just nod if I'm right, I'm assuming that Becky and Seth are now on Raw. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it's the obvious. Charlotte's on SmackDown, so Becky and Seth now need to be on Raw. But also, Edge is on Raw.
Yeah,
they're not ready to pull the trigger on the Edge Seth rivalry yet, so you have them both on Raw.
Not only that, it just, like you're saying, there was just things where you watched the draw on Monday and you kind of knew where people were going to end up because of the couple thing. So you knew, they've got Charlotte, that's the Raw Women's Champion. So it makes sense that Becky's going to go to Raw as the SmackDown Champion. It just made sense.
Yeah. One thing that I wanna say is, I think it's clever from WWE. I think it's clever because it doesn't. Yes, we need new storylines. Yes, we all wish that they'd have brought up more people from NXT, and they really haven't done this draft well at all. It really has felt like Vince and Pritchard have got and Khan and whoever else is involved in making the decision has gone, I can't be asked. I can't be asked. I don't care, and that's how it feels because that's the way it's been put over, and it's the way it's been portrayed to us, the viewer, and it's disappointing, mate. Because when you read that from Bischoff, I know Vince. I know that after that pay-per-view, Vince will be now looking at AW, and he's, it's good. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride now because Vince is going to be pulling some strings now. He's going to really see AW as a threat, and and you think, great, and the draft's coming up. What's he going to do? And NXT's involved, and it was just they didn't care. WWE didn't care. They just went, oh, move him there, not bothered, not asked. And
it comes down to, I mean, obviously as fans, we don't care about ratings and demo and stuff like that. And I think it comes down to everyone was like, oh, AEW slowly climbing up the mountain and becoming proper competition, and it's got all these great people on it. Yeah, like I said last week. Now, AEW has been beating WWE in the demo for ages. And then last week, where you had things like Sammy Guevara winning the title and Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan on the same night, and also CM Punk, not wrestling, but on the mic. Now, it didn't beat Raw in the ratings, and it also didn't beat Raw in the demo. And it's the first time, I think, in 4 weeks that it's not done that. And you kind of think, and WWE must be looking at those figures and go, well, we don't have to do anything. They're not there yet.
No, I agree with that. But
they've put their foot on the gas, and then they've seen these numbers, and they're going, okay, well, let's take it off a little bit. We don't need to do too much. We're still quite good. AEW,
I agree.
I
agree. I think it's definitely a problem. I mean, what I want to say is we're both not stupid. We know that they could have done a hell of a lot more with that draft, and it's frustrating and disappointing that they haven't. But look, there wasn't really that much happening on Raw story-wise that was interesting. If you look back over the last 12 months, even things like, that involves a Drew, 12, 18 months, that involves a Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton rivalry. It involves a Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley rivalry, but because they did those matches every week and it was the same people time after time, there was nothing really, that interesting. Even Big E winning the title against Lashley, it was all just... It was done like a bag of shit,
This got wrong.
But this should have been done. This should have been done when Bobby Lashley was taking out the other members of the New Day, and then it wasn't. And then it was just like he announces on Twitter, "I'm going to be at Raw tonight, and I'm cashing in." And then he actually says earlier on a Raw, "I'm cashing in tonight." And then Lashley had a match with Orton, and then he come out and cashed in. It was just a bit.
Yeah.
It took the fun and the surprise out of it. If you look at the story the stories on Raw, you're struggling to think of one that you were looking forward to every week. Oh, I'm looking forward to Raw this week. But then look at SmackDown. You had Roman Reigns and the Bloodline involved with many different people with Finn. If you think about it, they was involved in a rivalry with the Street Profits, with Finn Balor, with the Demon King, and with Brock Lesnar at the same time. So there's 4 different storylines there that you was intrigued with, and you go, oh, I wonder what's going to happen this week. And you also had Edge and Seth. You've also got Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. Now, even though it's been thrown together, it's still a storyline that is more interesting than what was happening on Raw. Yeah. Now, it's very, very clever for them to, and it's lazy. It's lazy writing, very, very lazy, rather than creating a really good, new, fresh, interesting storyline on Raw. They've just stole one off SmackDown. But it makes sense. Yes, it's lazy, but it makes sense to go, well, Raw haven't really got many good storylines going. SmackDown have got 4 or 5. Let's pinch one. You take Edge and Seth, you stick them on Raw, ready-made storyline. You're just moving brand. Yes, people will say that it's lazy, and I would agree with that. It is lazy, but it's still, very clever, and it's a bit of a shortcut going, well, we'll just take that and move it.
I think they changed it up a bit on... In terms of the draft, I think they've changed up a bit, enough to make it not as boring because, like you said, we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus obviously Apollo and Sami Zayn week in, week out, because they have no one else on there. Now they've sort of changed up a bit. I hope that there's going to be a bit more there, but I can still see that after a while we're going to get the same matches here and that because of the people that are there.
And that's what is the most disappointing. Is this was a chance to really push that reset button. And when you look after this draft, me and you should be sat here now going, right, look at the Raw brand, look at the SmackDown brand, look how many new people come up from NXT. You look at both brands and you go, well, it's been mixed up and shaken up that much. It's going to have to be new storylines now, and they kind of haven't done that, and it is disappointing. But I did see a tweet. I don't really know what it means, and I think I don't want to jump the gun like a lot of wrestling fans do and jump the gun and instantly go, "Oh my god!" You look at it like.
Yeah.
I have you seen the tweet that Kevin Owens put out?
No, I haven't.
So
you put out.
I am interested because of what's going on with his contract. But Kevin Owens doesn't strike me as the sort of person that's bitchy. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person who's going to put comments online to shake and stir shit. It just doesn't. He doesn't strike me as that guy. But WWE tweeted saying a dynamic pick from Raw as they draft Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens retweeted it and just put a what with a question mark. So he it looks like he's not happy with them saying a dynamic pick from Raw.
Well, the segment he was in he looked bored as to hell. He came out, he was talking on the mic, then got interrupted by Tozawa. Tozawa grabbed the mic out of his hand, and then Kevin Owens stunned him, and then walked out the ring. As he's walking out the ring, he's like this, and he looks back and he goes, and he just walks off, and that's it. He just looks bored to hell. He's like, as if to say, "What the fuck's going on here?"
I'm getting fed up and sick to death of a certain. I don't know it. He's a bit of an irritating shite because he always gets everything right. You might know him. He's called Kevin Kilford. I think he does his podcast sometimes. But it's something that you called. We've been doing this podcast. Probably 9 months, something like that now.
Yeah, coming up for a year now.
Yeah. But I think you mentioned this to me two years ago. And I think now you really are seeing that you were right again. Kevin Owens has been blamed for what happened with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho threw his toys out the pram, and rightly so. Rightly so. I think the way that he was treated was shocking. And he went to AEW, and I think Chris Jericho was instrumental in the creation of AEW and its very, very fast rise in success. You don't have Chris Jericho there. I would bet every penny I have it's not in the position that it's in now. Not just about the matches that he's put on. It's his mind. It's his wrestling mind. He's a genius. But I think Kevin Owens has been blamed for that. And what shows that, what has he had in the last 3 years since Jericho left? What's he had? What have they given him? They've given him fuck all. Absolutely nothing.
I've got to admit, I did enjoy his rivalry with Roman Reigns.
I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, look at the caliber of talent that Kevin Owens is. He might have had a United States title in that time for about 3 weeks, and then they probably took it off him to fucking Apollo Crews or something stupid. My point is, this guy should be winning Royal Rumbles. It hasn't. Should be main event in WrestleManias. He's been nowhere near main events. Every WrestleMania match he has, it's match 2 or 3. It's the matches that no one remembers or cares about. Because of how good he is, he's had really good rivalries with Seth Rollins. He's had really good rivalries with Roman Reigns. I am fuming at WWE for getting rid of Aleister Black because what an incredible rivalry that would have been. Obviously, Seth took Aleister Black's eye out, and then Aleister Black came back, and Aleister Black kicked Kevin Owens with the Black Mass. And then we never seen anything again. Now, he wasn't even sacked at this point. He was just gone from TV for months. And then he came back about 4 months later to do the Dark Father character, and then they sacked him. But again, it was a rivalry that was ready-made. That would have been incredible, and Owens and Aleister Black would have crushed it. But yes, he's had good rivalries, but it's impossible when you've got Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens for it to not be good matches. They're both elite talent. But when you think of the caliber that Kevin Owens is, he's in the bracket with AJ Styles, with Roman Reigns, with Seth Rollins, with Roman Reigns. But when you look at what all those guys have had over the last 2 years and compare it with what Kevin Owens has had, they've had way more opportunities than what he's had, and it really has been shit on. And I think he is definitely 100% leaving in January. And I actually hope that he has, and I actually think he will, because everyone's going AEW.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to end up.
I'm not sure, and I'll tell you why I think he won't go to AEW. Kevin Owens wants to wrestle, and I think Kevin Owens knows that he won't be wrestling every week on AEW because look at the talent. Honestly,
that's one of the things that I've had a gripe about AEW. Actually, is you got a lot of these people going there, and their response for leaving WWE was they wanted to wrestle, they wanted to get time, and then there's some of them, and it's like, well, what have you done? Aleister Black's a perfect example. You know, he went there, he said he wants to wrestle, wants to do his thing. Has he really done anything?
No.
Really?
No. No. Mox left at the right time because he left for the very first show of AEW. So he has had a lot because he was there. He debuted on the first ever show.
He was good. John Moxley was there, like you're saying. He cropped up and stuff. Since losing the AEW title, I don't know. They've kind of gone, well, what do we do with him now?
Yeah, but they've done that with a lot, and they're going to continue to, like, look, Miro's just lost the belt, right? Yeah. I guarantee you see what they give Miro over the next 3 or 4 months, because it won't be much.
Well, he wasn't there anyway, was he? He only popped up every other AEW. He was every Dynamite. So I reckon he'll go away now. He'll disappear for a couple of weeks. Out of the last
8 of 9, maybe 10 weeks, he's been there 3 times.
Yeah, I think also. I mean, it sounds brilliant. You're giving people time off, and have a family life. I get that, but the problem is the Hangman Page. People are screaming out for Hangman Page. We want Hangman Page. And I even saw people tweeting on Twitter and on Facebook saying, if Hangman Page isn't the person that takes the belt off of Kenny Omega, I will not be happy. A lot of people aren't happy with Daniel Bryan being pushed into that position really quickly.
Look,
and everyone wants Hangman Page to win it from Kenny Omega.
You called this a few months ago, and it's coming. It's coming. I guarantee. I'll have a bet with you, and I'll have a bet with anyone watching this. Within the next 6 months, WWE will sign an AEW talent. Someone that is currently signed to AEW, within the next 6 months, they will be on WWE. I don't know who it is, but there will be someone who's going, this is fucking bullshit. You promised me this. You've then signed Punk and Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole and every fucker else, and I've now got nothing. So I'm fed up. I want out of my contract. And do you know what? Respect to Tony Khan, he will go, if you're not happy, I will happily sign you out of your contract, and WWE will pick them up. I don't know who it is, but it will be somebody. I guarantee it, and it's going to happen. What I want to say, Kev, I would be very surprised if Kevin Owens goes to AEW. If he signs for AEW, it'll be for one reason and one reason only. He's very good friends with the Young Bucks. He's very good friends with Adam Cole. He was a part of the elite to begin with in Japan with Omega and all that.
So the Click, Super Click, he was part of.
Yeah. So look, if he signs for AEW, it will be because he's got so many friends there. But
yeah,
Kev,
yeah,
the day that Bray Wyatt was released, where was every man and his dog? What was the tweet that every man and his dog was putting out? Bray Wyatt is going to be what?
AEW.
Is he?
Well, we don't know, do we?
Well, mate, every single, elite journalist is saying that he's already signed with Impact.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that there was interest with Impact. There was interest with AEW, but no one knows anything for sure. It's all being kept under wraps.
I think he's signed with Impact, and I think Braun Strowman will also sign with Impact. And I think the reason why for that, this is a company they can go to and fucking dominate. Bray Wyatt absolutely knows if he goes to Impact, he's the man. He's the guy.
Yeah,
and he's going to be wrestling every single week, and he will get every spot he wants.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Kevin Owens will do. Mate, I'm going to call it now. I think Impact could be getting very, very lucky here. I think Impact could be picking up some elite talent. There will be more people that WWE release. There will be people that AEW release that will go to Impact. There's going to be 3 super companies that are battling it out. Give this 12 months, and I think WWE, AEW, and Impact will all have exceptional talent. Exceptional talent. If you think that Christian Cage is the current Impact champion, they already had. Eddie Kingston. Is Eddie Kingston actually signed with AEW now? Because he was obviously with Impact, and now he's just with Jon Moxley every week.
Now,
who's he contracted to?
It's a very blurred line, isn't it? Because you've got
who knows?
You've got Christian Cage, who's signed with AEW, but is Impact champion and on Impact. I can't remember the last time we saw him on AEW.
His match with Omega.
Well, yeah, that was the last time, yeah, and he's disappeared since. But yeah, he's an AEW star. He's not an Impact one, and it's the same vice versa, like you're saying. There's a few people in AEW that are there each week that are signed to Impact.
Can I make it? And it is a prediction. So fuck you, Heyman. It's not a spoiler. This is a prediction. And I'm gonna mate, Kev, get ready to laugh your tits off, because I'm gonna get so much shit in the comments for this, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, this is the beauty of wrestling, and it's the beauty of having your own podcast. It's why I wanted to start this. You can say what you want, and if someone disagrees, you go, well, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. But guess what, dickhead? I'm still entitled to mine. And Kev's entitled to his, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And if it's different from mine, great, because one of my favourite things in this world is when me and Nat and me and Kev disagree, and it's a healthy debate.
Yes,
I love a debate. I don't like arguing, but I love a debate, because you know what? I love nothing more than having my opinion changed and going, fucking hell, do you know what? I've never thought about it like that. Kev, I think you're right. I'm with you on that. I love that. Because that's where you learn and you grow as a human being. I love a debate. Here's my prediction, and I think you're going to completely disagree, and it's great. There are 3 people that I would say right now, and I'm talking top stars in my opinion, that within the next 6 to 12 months could sign with WWE, because I think they will have enough shit and will go, I want out of my contract.
Yeah.
The one that I think is the least likely to go to WWE and will probably go to Impact, I think will ask to leave AEW is Hangman Adam Page. And you cannot blame him. The way that he's been treated is fucking disgraceful. And all you AEW knobheads out there who constantly give Vince McMahon shit, look in the mirror and look at the guy who you see as a hero in Tony Khan. The way he's treated Hangman Adam Page is a disgrace. And if Vince McMahon had treated any WWE star like that, he'd be getting death threats. People would be asking for his fucking head on a pole. They put Adam Page in a position where he was the next guy. We have faith in you, Adam. We trust you. Fuck you, Adam. We've got Punk. We got Punk. We've got Daniel Bryan. We've got Adam Cole. See you later. Back in the line. No, move on. And now he's been giving shit. The only and look, and again, people, Matt Hardy, absolute bellend that Matt Hardy's turned out to be, because he has, Chris Jericho. A lot of the things that he said, I've kind of gone a bit. To me, it feels like he's purposely trying to say controversial stuff because he wants the social media pop and the right. He wants to create. He's not stupid. I think Chris Jericho knows that Vince is kind of going, AE who? AEW, is it? No, I'm not interested. I think Jericho's trying to spark a rivalry there. I think Jericho's that clever, he's trying to do that. But I think people like Matt Hardy, when WWE made Jeff Hardy's problem with alcohol and drug abuse into a storyline when he ran over Sheamus, it's Matt Hardy, and this is why I left that company. Fucking slow your roll, Matt, because you was the genius behind a story where your character drowns the same day, 3 days after they found the body of Shad Gaspard, who fucking drowned.
Yeah.
So again, mate, the amount of people out there that since AEW, all it's created is people with rose tinted glasses. That's all it's created. People that just focus on WWE and just like to pretend that AEW don't. People. The guy that went out and made the rape reference to the girl that got raped. Can you imagine if a WWE superstar had done that? The shit they'd get.
I said that to you. I said,
yeah,
they would be released. They would be released within
they'd be uproar.
Yeah.
All the AEW warriors would be going, look at WWE. Oh my, let's see. This is why I don't watch it anymore. This is why I only watch AEW. But because it was AEW, it was a mistake.
Yeah, when everything came out, it was Sammy Guevara who came out about Sasha Banks saying it. I mean, if that was in WWE, he would have got the future endeavors. He would have gotten the sack straight away. AEW took him off TV for a while, but he's back and he's just won the TNT Championship.
So I don't usually like airing disgusting things like what Sammy Guevara said, but I think the shock value is enough. Yeah. This is a guy who thought it was appropriate to say Sasha Banks is that fit, she deserves to get raped. And I've said it like that because that's the way he said it. And it's shocking and it's brutal, but that is the shocking and brutal truth. This is a guy who thinks it's appropriate to make comments like that. No.
Yeah.
And as someone that has a daughter and as someone in you that has two daughters, what a prick. And I agree with you. If he was signed to WWE, he'd have got a lot more hell. Yeah, but it's not just WWE sacking him. I'm talking about the AEW fans, right? If this was a WWE superstar, the shit that you'd be seeing on Twitter that this person would be getting.
Cancel culture. Yeah. It'd be gone.
But because he was on AEW, but he was young and he didn't know what he was saying. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not give, shit like that any more air. I just wanted to say, that's a shocking, brutal truth of it is that this is what scum like him think that it's appropriate to say. And he can apologize all he wants, but he can say, oh, but I was young and I was immature. Well, I was once young and immature. You were once young and immature. Did you ever come out with shit like that?
No, not in a million years.
So I'm sorry, Sammy. I don't fall for your bullshit. But yeah, the reason why I don't think WWE will sign Adam Page, because I do think he will go, and he'll probably go to Impact, or he might even go back to Japan, is because he does have a drink problem, and he admits it himself. Like he constantly turns up to AEW drunk, and again, Matt Hardy, saying, "Oh, how dare this is why I left that company." Yeah. Well, AEW have done the same thing. That they've made light of Adam Page's drink problems. So, again, if you're going to call out one, call out both.
The other, you have to. Yeah, it's not one rule for one and one for another. No.
But but there are two people that I genuinely think will have had enough within the next 12 months, because I can see the way that it's going, and they will sign for a WWE. There's two. One is MJF. MJF was already signed to WWE, and he was in developmental for a couple of years, and he didn't leave on any bad terms. It was just that it was just a case of AEW came available, and MJF went, oh, well, he was in discussion with AEW and NXT, and Triple H was like, you've got a lot of potential, but we want to keep working with you and developing you, and we haven't got a spot for you yet on NXT, bear with us. And MJF was like, I want to wrestle, I want to do it now. And AEW said, come to us, There was no bad feelings there.
MJF is that I find that he's great as a heel, but I think some of the things that he said this week about Brian Pillman and stuff like that was a bit over the limit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The limit. That's his wife and his son and his daughter, and you're mocking the guy that was, praised on as like a god figure in wrestling, someone who died, and you're making fun of this.
But Kev, it's not just it's how he died as well. He was 36. Yeah. He had an underlying heart condition, and he died. Like it wasn't. This wasn't a Chris Benoit. I know Eddie Guerrero had heart problems, but he also had a lot of drug problems as well. I'm not saying that Brian Pillman didn't drink to the excess and take drugs, because in the 80s and 90s, especially 90s wrestling, it was part of the culture. But what I'm saying is, when you look at his post-mortem report, there was no drugs or alcohol in his system. He had a heart attack from an underlying heart condition, and that's what's so sad and tragic about it. And I wasn't a fan of his comments. And obviously, we don't know what it was. But John Moxley went on Chris Jericho's podcast after he signed with AEW, and he said Vince McMahon wanted me to say something that was about Roman and his cancer that was that horrific that I'm not even gonna give it air. I'm not gonna comment on air. And Jericho went, no, what was it? And Ambrose went, I'll tell you after. When we're off air, I'll tell you. He wouldn't say it live on air. So that must have been fucking bad. Yeah. So Vince McMahon must have wanted wanted Dean to say something horrendous about his real life, one of his best friends who actually has cancer. And there's certain things that you just can't.
There's certain things you look at and you go, I can't believe they've done this, or they've said this, or someone actually green-lighted this. Someone said, oh, that's quite good, do that. They're like, really? Someone actually said that was okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, look, I think, Cena talking about Jimmy Uso's drink driving, and Jeff Hardy's, making light of his drink problems and stuff. It's different when it's public knowledge and that they've both had and received help, and it's a storyline that I understand when people find it a bit too close to the bone, but them two, those in particular, kind of felt was a bit like the Jeff Hardy one. He's been sober for years. He's been sober for at least 2 years. He hasn't touched alcohol, so this is different. And it was his idea. Yeah. It was almost like therapy for him. Let's talk about the mistakes I've
made. When Matt Hardy come out and said, I can't believe that they're doing this in WWE and stuff like that. And it came out, I think Jeff Hardy came out and said, well, I agreed to it. And he said that there was a court case or something had come up, hasn't it, on the media.
Yeah.
And WWE wanted to direct attention away from that to this. And so that was also a reason why they did it as well. And like I said, of many things, even like, we say, oh, I can't believe that he said those things about Brian Pillman, and it kind of went over the limit. But there must have been somewhere where they went, oh, he's going to say this, or is it okay if I say this? And it's the same with Jeff Hardy. You kind of go, I can't believe that they used his drunk thing. And you've got to think that they've probably approached Jeff Hardy. He's been there years. So I guarantee that they've not just gone, oh, we're doing this. They've probably gone, how do you feel about this? Is it okay? And he's probably gone, yeah. You know, I don't. You know, it's the sort of thing where they go, "Oh, do you want to do this?" And he's just gone, "Well, no." And he goes, and they've gone, "Well, tough, you're doing it anyway." I don't think, you know, he would have walked away. I think he's that high up in the company that he's that level now where he can just go, you know, I'll walk away, sort of thing. I personally think Jeff Hardy is. I think they're going to have, you know, his Willow character.
Yes.
Well, I saw a tweet actually sent out today from Jeff Hardy saying someone mentioned the Willow character, and he put, "There's a new mask being made right now. It is coming. I am coming back as Willow." The only thing I can think of, either he's going to AEW with that, because I think he will end up there with his brother, or they're going to do Willow versus the Demon.
It'd be interesting. It makes sense. Yeah, it would. It'd be incredible.
You know, they're both on Raw.
Yeah,
it makes sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense. I think
we know for 100% because Jeff's come out and said
it's definitely. I think
definitely made.
I agree. I think he eventually is going to go to AEW, and I think it will be sooner rather than later because Jeff keeps saying every time he's on like Talking Smack or he's on something like that, it's like, I want one more run as WWE champion, and it's like, Jeff, come on, mate, you're never, ever, ever having that title again. If you think you think of look how long it took for Big E to get that title.
Yeah.
You've got that many guys now that you look at, and Braun Strowman was ready to be champion, you know, years before they gave him the belt, and he never had a long run with the belt.
Yeah, the problem with that run, I think, with Braun Strowman as well, I think they pulled the trigger a bit too early, and then they didn't do anything with him when he was champion.
But he weren't even supposed to win the belt. He weren't even supposed to win it because it was supposed to be Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns said, "Well, COVID has just started, and I've got leukemia, so I'm not doing it." And they brought Braun in to face Goldberg.
That's why it was a bit of a shock, weren't it, when he got released? Because everyone was like, "Whoa, he was only Universal Champion a couple of months ago."
Well, look, this is something. Look, I want your opinion on both of them. So let me give you both names and the reasons why. You just say yes or no.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me on Adam Page, by the way? That he's probably going to leave AEW, but probably not WWE because of his drink problems.
It's a difficult one. I think he could go to Impact and still be signed with AEW.
Yeah,
I think they could just turn around.
Good point. Fair enough.
Just turn around and say, he goes, "Look, I've had enough here. I'm not getting anything," and they'll probably go, "Well, we'll just go to Impact for a year. Go there. We'll pay you. Just go to Impact for a year."
Yeah. I think you're probably right there. To be fair, so there's two people. One, now that he's out of the Jericho thing, I'm telling you, MJF is going to start getting used less and less and less and less and less because of all of the talent above him, and he's going to get frustrated. And he's a young lad who's hungry.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying to my wife when we were watching it. I thought he was really good, and then I was like, "Why is he in a feud with Daniel Pillman? Why? I didn't get it. I was like, why is he calling out Brian Pillman?"
Well, I don't know because I think because Brian Pillman's a young lad who's again just been signed, who's not going to get much TV time, and MJF's thinking at least this is a way of getting us both on TV. But I think he's going to start getting used less and less and less. Now he's not in the rivalry with Jericho, and I think he's going to get frustrated, and I think he will happily go back to WWE because he was close. I think if Triple H should have gone, okay, we'll bring you up to NXT now, I don't think he'd have gone to AEW. I think he was happy and he had a lot of friends as well at WWE. A lot of the NXT guys he were really close to.
I think they should have put him in a feud with CM Punk. CM Punk hasn't really got a feud with anyone.
No, I think MJF is one to keep your eyes on for returning to WWE. And the second one, this one's a little bit more out there, but bear with me. Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy knows how good he is. AEW know how good he is. I think he now before Daniel Bryan came in and just instantly got a title shot. When Christian lost to Omega, Orange Cassidy was number 1 ranked.
Yeah,
he should have got that title shot and didn't. I've seen something, and I'm almost 100% sure that I'm right when I say this. Orange Cassidy, since AEW was started, has more singles victories than anybody.
Yes. Yeah.
He has won more singles matches than any other wrestler. What have they given him? What have they given him? They clearly know the talent and caliber that he has, and the interesting part of his character, with his hands in his pockets. It's something that's so basic that works, because when he throws himself over the top rope with his hands in his pockets, you think, fucking hell. Some of the, he's interesting, and the fans love him. His characterization, the way that he gets himself over, and his talent in the ring, and his individuality in the ring makes him stand out. I think it's going to get to the point where Orange Cassidy goes, "What the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing?" Keep your eyes on him. I think Orange Cassidy is the one that I'm probably going to get the most shit for, but I think that's a possibility. MJF, I can really, really see. One that I don't think will happen, and these are the 3 that I want your opinion on, but the one that I think won't happen, but I would actually love to see happen, because I think would be more successful in WWE, is Darby Allin. I think in WWE, used correctly, and WWE getting behind him and pushing him, and I don't see why they wouldn't, would be amazing on WWE, because he would get more opportunities than what he's currently getting on AEW. So all 3 of them, MJF, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy, do you think any of them make that move?
I don't know. They were AEW originals. Maybe in a couple of years. I don't see it being very soon, but I think they've got to bed in a little bit, because they've had all these big signings, like you're saying, like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And I think the dust needs to settle on them a little bit.
Yeah, but do you not think all those big signings is going to make those younger guys go, well, fuck?
It will eventually. It will eventually. Even Eric Bischoff, that's it. Even he said that he turned around. He said it's okay signing these big guys, but what you're going to have is what we had in WCW. Is the younger kids that want the TV time, that want the thing, are going to be pushed down, and then they're going to get frustrated, and then that's when the problems occur.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to. I think we've covered most stuff. Shall we?
Yeah. We'll wrap it up there, mate.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up now. Obviously, I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. See you soon, guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you at the next one.